Good morning. It's November the 30th, 2015. Time to get started for another end of the month trading day. And when we come into end of the month trading days, there's very little incentive for money managers to sell, especially in equities, because they get all the attention. The fixed income market, which is a bigger market, does not get all the attention outside of high yield corporate bonds, where everybody says they're going to begin to go into default right now, or the day before yesterday. So that's where we find ourselves today. We do have some news today. Chicago PMI. It can impact the trading. It's called at 54. It's kind of the automobile industry. Pending home sales. And this one could come in a little less than forecast, given the recent housing news, plus 1%. Although it's been split, there's no clear trend in the housing news. And then Dallas Fed at minus 11. That one could actually come in lower than forecast. Okay, China devalued the yuan last night more than they have done in the recent 12.3. Both Yellen and the ECB. And the ECB is expected to add substantially to its current quantitative easing program. Yellen, I don't know what the import or impact of her speech will be, other than the fact that it's Yellen picking up the mic. And then Friday's non-farm payroll number, which is the last non-farm payroll number before the Fed's December 16th FOMC announcement, where they are widely expected to raise interest rates 25 basis points. And we'll see if that happens. So, end of the month tends to keep institutional money managers frozen. Thursday's move by the European Central Bank will probably have people, the large institutions, awaiting to see if European Union does add to quantitative easing. I Yellen, I don't know what she could say or not say because of the FOMC announcement coming on the 16th, and then Friday's non-farm payroll numbers. So we probably have a week of trading ranges. Support starts at 28. I think they can get stops. It's a B beneath this number. Would like to get a trade on at 25 or better, but I'm not afraid to buy into weakness, nor am I afraid to sell into strength. So 31 to 03, sell 1. 7 to 11, sell 2. On the buy side, 24 to 28. Then 17 to 21. Is pretty aggressive. The 3 to 7 is the area where you'd like to get it on if possible, just structurally for the short. 24.28 allows the trading community to get stops below the overnight session low at 28. So I think we can trade a little lower in treasuries this morning because of the strength in the E-mini, but not break. Okay, the knob spread. Looks like it's classified information this morning, but those should come up here shortly. Again, we're in the same situation. You can see there's pretty good support at 22, 25, 26. The overnight session low is 29, then 31, and we're at 07. So the first buy is going to be 29 to 01. Just where support is right now, and then 17 to 21 for buy 2. On the sell side, Asia's high was 12, so 11 to 15, sell 1. And then 23 to 27, sell 2. Really down to what the stock market's going to do. Okay, we're rolling to the March contracts tomorrow. And it was interesting this morning, the March and the December contracts both had pretty much the same volume. So, and on roll day, you can actually trade the expiring contract for the first day of the roll without a problem. Okay, looking at gold, stops below 50. Volume moves a little bit lower. We're not getting much in the way of lift right here. So 58.60, sell 1. 63.65, sell 2. On the buy side, 50 to 52. I think we're going for stops below 50, then 45.47. And you should be in the Feb contract. Feb of 16, not December. Okay, China devalued the yuan in a big way. Sorry about that. And the euro usually gets a little bit of a rally out of it, but this week a little bit different dynamic. On Thursday, the European Central Bank is supposed to announce some major additions to its current QE program, and that devalues the euro. So there's two dynamics playing there. So the first sell is going to be the 95 to 106 area, then 25 for sell 2. On the buy side, I think we can trade a little bit lower, so we'll make 105.50 buy 1, and then 105.25 buy 2. Lots of news this week. Hold things in check, but the euro is headed lower because that's where the central bank wants it, so they can export outside of the EU. Okay, crude is notching ever so slowly lower. This Turkey, Russia, United States, I mean, you cannot, it's hard to see how a hand could be played any worse than what's going on right now. I mean, but it is. Turkey controls the Straits of Bosphorus to move munitions big time. Heavy weighted stuff, tanks, or it has to come by boat, doesn't come by air. You can get a little in by air, but not much. And so Turkey holds the upper hand over Russia if Russia wants to pursue the war in Syria in a big way. But Russia doesn't screw around. They're going to do something to Turkey, and nobody knows what it is. So that's where we find ourselves. Think we can trade a little lower? 41.25, 41.50 buy 1. Don't think we can break because of the situation in Syria and the escalation that Turkey has brought to the situation in Syria. Sell 1, 42.25, 42.50, 42.75, 43. Sell 2. Okay, the E-mini is probably easiest to see window dressing in the E-mini. and a reluctance to sell. The economic news that comes in tends to show economic contraction, softening around the globe. Most of the story, and again, bad news grabs the headlines. But we don't get a lot of good news out economically these days. Okay, looking at the month, last month's close was at 66. Here we are trading in the 90 area, give or take a little bit. So it's hard to see the market closing below 66. And it's hard to see it closing much above 2100. 2100 would suit the Fed's needs. It would also make the money managers pretty happy too. So resistance is in this 95 area. So 95 really to as high as 98 is where sell 1's going to be. And then 2100, 2105. And we find the market usually gets up to the 3.5 handle. So this area right up here, this little high volume area, would be sell 2. This place to get it on. Breakout from Asia came at the 88 area, so we'll make 86, 88 by 1, and then 80, 82 by 2. Big news week. ECB's, the yuan devalued. China made more talk about supporting their economy any and every way. ECB moves on Thursday. Friday's non-farm payroll number, and I'm sure people will question the accuracy of that number no matter what it is. Chicago PMI 54. And the automobile news that we get shows 17 million, sometimes as high as 17.8 on an annualized basis in car sales, and the industry can prosper at 16 million plus with their overhead. Pending home sales plus 1% could come in lower. Dallas Fed could come in lower too. But the focus will be Chicago PMI and pending home sales. Okay, it's going to take a bit to get everything up and posted. I'm going to get busy on that. I will be back with you as soon as possible.